Welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a great start to the year. Today I have an exciting one and it's going to be about the best pieces you can buy from Sézane. Sézane is actually one of my favorite brands, but as any other brand, there are hits and misses. There are pieces that I would absolutely recommend, and then there are other pieces that I would certainly avoid. But today I'm going to be focusing on the best of the best. These are all pieces I've worn and washed and can totally recommend. I actually did a video like this in the past, but I had to narrow it down to only 5 pieces, so I left out some pieces that I absolutely love, and recently I've also discovered some pieces that definitely deserve a mention, so I thought it would be a great time to do an updated version. So let's get into it. Let's begin with accessories, and the first piece I want to show you is the Seraphine Scarf. This is one of Sézane's classics. It's a piece that they bring back every winter and it comes in a bunch of colors. I got the burgundy houndstooth version and this has become my most worn scarf. I just love how it adds a point of interest to any basic neutral outfit, which is pretty much how I dress. However, what truly sold me on this scarf, besides the design, it's the composition. It is made from 100% virgin wool and it's also certified by the Responsible Wool Standard. And the fabric is extremely soft. It's not itchy or scratchy at all, which I appreciate because I have very sensitive skin. And I can wear this comfortably without any irritation. This scarf is labeled as dry clean only, but I have to be honest and admit that I have washed it in my washing machine in a wool cycle with cold water inside a washing bag, and then I let it air dry flat and it came out perfect. It didn't shrunk or anything. So yeah, if you've been eyeing this scarf but maybe weren't sure if it was itchy or not, rest assured, it's not. It's extremely soft and I can totally recommend it. Obviously, I could not make a video about Sézane's best pieces without including the Mederick Coat. This is probably my favorite piece from the brand because it's such a great value for money. This is a long line coat that hits me below my knees and it's made from 100% wool and it's also double-faced, meaning it doesn't have a lining. This coat comes in a few shades, but I got the caramel color, which is sadly no longer in stock because I got it last winter. But keep an eye on the archives because they might bring it back then. One of the things I like the most about this coat is how soft the fabric is, which is not always the case with wool pieces from Sézane. For instance, a couple of months ago I tried the Andrew coat, which is also made from 100% wool, but that one was extremely itchy. Extremely itchy, not at all like the Mederick Coat, which is very soft. However, what truly sets this coat apart, it's the composition for a relatively affordable price point, especially if you purchase it in Europe, where it retails for 350 euros. And honestly, at least for me, it has been incredibly difficult to find coats made entirely from natural fibers at this price. Most of the coats I've seen at this price point are usually blended with synthetic materials like polyester or acrylic, which is something I tend to avoid. Now, if you're in the US, the price of this coat jumps to almost $500, and that's where I'd say maybe check out the classic coat from the Curated because it has a very similar price point. However, all of the Curated coats are made from a cashmere and merino wool blend, which is extremely luxurious. I have one of their coats and truly the fabric is next level. So as much as I love the Mederick Coat and I think it's a great value for money, if I were in the US, I would probably go for the classic coat from the Curated instead. Regarding sizing, I strongly suggest sizing down. I've heard some people mention that this coat runs true to size, but at least in my experience, this has not been the case. I initially ordered this coat in a size 36, which is my usual size, and it was huge. Like, it was extremely big, and it looked very awkward when belted because I had a lot of extra fabric in the back area. So I returned that one and I got a size 34, and this one fits me perfectly, and I still have room for layering underneath. So yeah, I highly recommend sizing down. In terms of maintenance, this coat is labeled as dry clean only, and that's the only way I've cleaned it so far. I usually take it to the dry cleaners at the end of the winter season, and I've had no issues so far. So yeah, I definitely think this is one of the best pieces from Sézane, and I can totally recommend it because it's such a great value for money, especially if you buy it in Europe. Going back to accessories, I have to mention the Axelle ankle boots. These are actually a recent addition to my wardrobe, but I've been wearing them so much that I had to include them. These boots are made from cowhide leather and they have a 6 cm heel, and I was really surprised by how comfortable they are. I really didn't expect that at all, and they haven't caused me any blisters so far, which is rare for me. And they barely needed breaking in, except for the shaft maybe, which was a bit stiff at first, but it loosened up after the third wear. I initially bought these boots in 2 colors, in the patent camel and in this one, which is the iced chocolate. And as much as I loved the patent camel, these were definitely more of a statement piece for me. They had a strong 70s vibe, so they were a bit out of my comfort zone. So in the end, I decided to keep the chocolate pair because they just felt like the safest option, but they also pair beautifully with a lot of things in my closet. However, I still think that the patent camel boots are beautiful, and if I could, I would have kept both. One of my favorite things about these boots is that they have a high shaft, and I normally avoid ankle boots with a low shaft because most of my pants are cropped and I want to avoid that awkward gap of skin between the pants and boots. And I also appreciate that these have a rubber sole because even though it doesn't look as nice as a leather outsole, it's definitely more practical and less slippery, which I appreciate because I'm very clumsy. In terms of sizing, I would say that these run true to size. I got them in my usual size 40 and they fit perfectly, and I can still wear them with chunky boots. So yeah, if you've been eyeing these boots, I can totally recommend them, especially considering how comfortable they are. Moving on to pants, my absolute favorite piece has to be the Martin crop trousers. I love the fit of these trousers. These have a high rise and a straight leg, and they are extremely flattering. I now own these pants in 3 colors, in the black ecru gingham, the brown ecru gingham, and I also have a black linen pair. But the ecru and brown gingham is definitely my favorite. And I also like that all of these pants are made entirely from natural fibers. Well, the gingham pairs have 1% of elastin, but that doesn't really bother me. Now, in terms of sizing, I've heard people mention that these trousers run small, but in my opinion, they are very true to size. I normally wear a size 36 across most brands, and I got these in a size 36 and they fit me perfectly. However, just keep in mind that the fabric doesn't have much stretch to it, especially in the gingham pairs. Since this style is cropped, these pants will look cropped on you if you are around my height, but if you are petite or maybe have a shorter inseam, this might look more like a regular length trouser on you. Personally, I wish they were a bit longer on me. They do have a bit of extra fabric in the seams, so I might try to get them tailored. However, I still love these pants and I wear them constantly throughout the year, especially the gingham pairs, because even though they're made from a cotton-linen blend, the fabric is thick enough to wear in the colder months, and I can actually get away with wearing them in winter because it doesn't really get that cold where I live. Plus, they look great with boots and they don't crease much. Now, the black linen pair obviously crease because that's just the nature of linen, but if I compare it to other linen trousers I've had in the past, these definitely crease way less and they're not see-through. Overall, I'm really impressed with the quality and construction of these pants. You can definitely tell that these are well made and they have become such a staple in my closet. Next up are the Dan trousers, which are also a recent addition to my wardrobe, but I had to include them because for years I've been looking for the perfect pair of straight leg, full length trousers that actually fit my body, and I finally found the ones. I have more of a rectangular body shape and my legs are quite thin, So most straight leg trousers can look a bit too wide on me, especially around my hips and upper thigh area, but the Dan trousers have the perfect fit. They are fitted throughout the waist and the hips, and then they open up into a straight leg, and they make your legs look so long. And this is exactly what I love about these trousers. These are actually full length on me, which is rare. And I'm not even that tall. I'm like 173 meters tall, but a lot of full length trousers are not full length on me, but these definitely are. Here you can see that I'm wearing them with boots and they don't drag on the floor at all. However, if I were to wear them with flats, they definitely would drag a bit. That said, I only really plan to wear them with boots, so the length is perfect for me. I also appreciate that these have a stitched front pleat because some trousers tend to lose their pleats after washing, but this will guarantee that the trousers hold their shape. As for sizing, I would say that these run true to size. I got them in my usual size 36 and they fit perfectly, but they are quite snug compared to my other Sézane trousers. The only real downside to these trousers is the fabric. These are made from a wool blend and I would have preferred if they were made from 100% wool, but at this point I'm willing to compromise because the fit is so good. Also, the fabric isn't the softest, but it's not scratchy or itchy like other Sézane trousers that I've had in the past, but it's definitely not soft. Overall, if the fabric doesn't bother you, I think these are a fantastic buy, and you can definitely tell that these are well made, just like the Martin crop trousers. The seams and the stitching are neat and there are no loose threads on these trousers. So yeah, if you have a similar body type to mine and you struggle to find straight leg trousers that actually fit your body, then these might be the ones. Moving on to what's probably everyone's favorite category, knitwear. When it comes to Sézane, honestly, I would only recommend going for their knitwear made entirely from natural fibers. My personal favorites are their pieces made from cotton, merino wool, or a cotton and merino wool blend. But I also recently tried their yak wool pieces and I like them. On the other hand, I would definitely avoid their knitwear made from polyamide and mohair because 1, it tends to be very itchy, and 2, it tends to shed a lot. The first piece I want to recommend is actually a knitwear set, and it's what I'm wearing today, and it's the Sami jumper and the Naella skirt. If you've been on the hunt for a knitwear set, this is it. Both of these pieces are made from a cotton and merino wool blend, which, as I mentioned, is one of my favorites because it's soft, it's not itchy at all, and it washes very well. And the fabric on this knitwear set, it's actually quite thick and substantial. It's not at all like those knitwear sets that you can find in high street stores that are made from a very thin and flimsy fabric where you can see everything underneath. Now, if mini skirts are not your thing, this set also comes with a midi skirt version, which is called the Naella skirt, and it comes in a bunch of colors and it's also made from the same fabric. For sizing, I got both of these pieces on my usual size small and they fit perfectly, but if you're looking for a more relaxed fit, you could definitely size up. In terms of maintenance, I usually wash these in a wool cycle with cold water inside a washing bag and then let them air dry flat, and they haven't shrunk or changed in any way. And they also are very resistant to peeling. I've owned this for over a year now and I haven't depeeled them yet, and as you can see, the peeling on them is minimal, so I can totally recommend these pieces. Next up, we have the Edwin Jumper, which is also one of my favorite pieces from the brand, and this is also made from a cotton and merino wool blend, just like the previous ones, so it's extremely soft and not scratchy at all. Honestly, I would say that this is more of a knitted top rather than an actual jumper, and if I compare it to the Sami jumper, the fabric on this one is definitely thinner, so this is not a winter knit at all. This is definitely more of a transitional season piece. In terms of sizing, I would say that this runs true to size. I got it in my usual size small and it fits perfectly. Like most of my pieces, I wash this in a wool cycle with cold water inside a washing bag and then let it air dry flat. and it hasn't shrunk or changed in any way. And also, this is very resistant to peeling. Despite being one of my most worn pieces, it has no signs of peeling at all. So yeah, this is definitely one of my most worn pieces, and I'm crossing fingers Sézane brings it in more colors because I would definitely buy them. Obviously, I could not make a video like this without including the Léontine Jumper. I know that everyone seems to have this jumper, so I'll keep it brief. This is a very easy to wear piece, and it's made from organic cotton, which is great if you have sensitive skin. However, don't expect this to be a soft and plush cotton. The fabric actually has a slightly rough texture, but it's not itchy or scratchy at all, but it's definitely not soft and plush. For sizing, I would recommend sticking to your usual size if you want a relaxed but not oversized fit. I actually sized up to a medium in this sweater, and if I could buy it again, I would probably go for a small because sometimes I feel that the medium is a bit too oversized for me. Maintenance-wise, I treat it the same as my other sweaters, and it has held up fine with no shrinking. The only downside to this sweater is that it can snag easily because the weave is quite open. But other than that, I would say that this is a great piece. Finally, I want to end this video with the first ever piece I bought from the brand, and this is actually the piece that made me fall in love with Sézane, and it's the Scott trench coat. I've had this piece for over 2 years now, and I wear it constantly, and it has held up amazingly. I got this trench coat in the camel color, but it's also available in a few other shades. This trench coat has a very classic and tailored fit, and it's not overly long. It hits me around my knees more or less. So if you're looking for something that has more of a relaxed and current fit, I would recommend to check out the Clyde trench coat instead. What really sold me on this trench coat is the fabric. This is made from 100% cotton, but it's not at all like those thin and flimsy cotton fabrics that you can find in most high street trench coats. The fabric on this trench coat is actually quite thick and substantial, so it holds its shape very well and it doesn't crease much. I also love some of the small details that this trench coat has. For example, it has a back slit with buttons, and it also comes with a belt with a back button that keeps it in place while you're walking. This trench is water resistant, so it can handle very light rains, but it's not water repellent, so don't expect this to work as a raincoat. For sizing, I would honestly recommend sizing up if you want to layer comfortably underneath. I normally wear a size 36, but I got a 38 in this trench coat, and it fits me well, but I still have room for layering underneath. In terms of maintenance, I take this to the dry cleaners once or twice a season at most because it doesn't get that dirty, and I've had no issues with it. Even though this trench coat is on the pricier side, you can definitely tell that the quality is there. The fabric is soft but substantial, the construction is excellent, and it has some premium details that really set it apart from other trench coats. So all in all, I would say that the price is fair and I can totally recommend it. And well, that was it for today's video. I really hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my small channel, and consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos like this. If you have any questions about any of these pieces, just drop them in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next one.